freaking way!
He will be tempted to run, be predictably shellacked.
Do not tell me that Donald Trump is in this to win this, okay? He's a sideshow.
This is going to turn a three-ring circus into a freak show.
He's not running for president. He's running for Keep Me Famous.
I thought this was maybe some strategy for a new reality show.
How should Republicans handle Donald Trump?
Ignore him.
And Donald Trump is not going to be the nominee of this party.
Well, I don't think it's likely that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
Well, I do, based on your theme, believe that he's here to stay for a while, maybe through a few primaries, but he is not going to be the nominee.
Well, I'm going to support the Republican nominee, and I'm comfortable that it's not going to be Donald Trump.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
Donald Trump will not become president.
He's not going to be president. He is not, Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee it.
All right, all right.
I think if he becomes the president here, make it great, because the States is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom,
take it from me. How about that?
Cheers, Tom.
And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
So when you stand and deliver that State of the Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
And we better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket next. I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on.
Sorry to laugh.
Okay, here we are. And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
And so, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? But come on, buddy. All, let's say, cow poo-poo aside, there is zero chance we'll be seeing you being sworn in on the Capitol steps with your hand on a giant golden Bible.
I'll make a prediction, though, for you. I don't really get into predictions much, but this one I'll go way out on a limb. Donald Trump will never, ever be president of the United States. That Trump should not be in this race. He's an absurdity. He is a travesty.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Donald Trump is the here today, gone tomorrow candidate for president of the United States. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Ever respectful of the fact that the people have not voted, he's not going to be president of the United States.
Let's be clear. Donald Trump will lose the election.
I mean, he had a really good chance to be different and really have a chance to change things, but he doesn't do the work. He's lazy.
We talk about him every day, and we continuously bash him.
He's not going to be the president. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
This will be a wake-up call to the Republican Party. Despite Boris thinking that Donald Trump could win New York, like this, the presidential race is over.
Could I just cut through? I have one thing to say, one thing only, and that is that this race is over. Tomorrow morning, the money will dry up. The Republicans will start to hide. Trump has no place to go. This race, effectively, as of tonight, is no longer a presidential race. I mean, everything I know about presidential politics, and I've been through 5 of them, I've never seen one like this. This race is over. You might as well accept it. And the question now is, how do you minimize damage? And the only way you can do that, it seems to me, is to try to grab hold of some old conservative value things and do what Mondale did in '84, which is try to save a few people down ballot. But as far as Donald Trump's concerned, it will never, ever, ever happen.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
Our new NBC News SurveyMonkey poll is out today. It puts Hillary Clinton up by 10 points over Donald Trump. And this is not the first poll since the conventions to give Clinton a double-digit lead. This is actually the fourth. 4 polls that have Clinton up by more than 10 points, or at least 10 points. Staying the kind of lead she has leaped out into this race, you could see other states that suddenly get crazy, states you wouldn't have even imagined, like a South Carolina, even a Texas. They could at least become competitive. And what it would mean doesn't mean Hillary Clinton's going to win all of these. It means we could have more competitive states than we ever imagined. That's the way the lay of the land right now at this low moment for Donald Trump. We'll be back right after this.
We are back with David Hundo P. Plouffe, the man who says Hillary Clinton has a 100% chance of winning. So that means that no scenario that we could lay out to get Donald Trump to 270 electoral votes is something he would buy. So we thought we'd get David in here to look at those scenarios that the Republicans are talking about, citing them as a potential path to victory, and explain to us why they are not just implausible, but impossible.
If you look at Wisconsin, the Marquette poll came out yesterday. She's up 6 points. She's up 4 points in our polling in Pennsylvania. If she keeps those together, all she needs is New Hampshire, and she puts the race away, and she's up there.
Well,
so
for
again,
them, the whole Colorado. I mean, for them to look at fortune, and it is true, fortune favors the bold. Yeah. But if the Comey bomb didn't get them where they need to be,
that really is the question, right?
It's it'll be interesting tomorrow night, I think, when Hillary Clinton wins, that Donald Trump will have lost this election from the very first day he announced.
If the numbers bear out what we're seeing thus far, Hillary Clinton will win Florida. And the delicious irony in this is that Donald Trump will have been kept from the White House by a big, beautiful brown wall.
And CNN projects Donald Trump will carry the state of Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas. He has now taken the lead. Donald Trump has 128 electoral votes. Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio. He has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 109. Idaho, North Carolina, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona.
But we should really just take a moment here and look at this. Pollsters predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to have not just a victory, but that she was going to win an electoral landslide. Not only is that not happening, it is entirely possible that Donald Trump is truly redrawing the map the way that he said he was going to. It was Donald Trump versus almost all the experts, and as of right now, it looks like Donald Trump was right.
Donald Trump has defeated Hillary Clinton to become president-elect of the United States.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for. And I'm sorry that we did not win this election.
I love this country.
The shockwaves from Donald Trump's victory continue to be felt across America and around the world.
Donald Trump wird der 45.
Élu Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump.
Everyone was wrong. The backlash begins. Some magazines are facing big embarrassments today. Newsweek had already shipped out this cover, Madam Secretary, but quickly had to change it to this, President Trump.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
The greatest move of God that has ever hit planet Earth is happening right now. And I'm not watching it happen. I'm in it right now with you. I see revival sweeping over this earth before Jesus returns.
There is a God of abundance who is pouring out his spirit on all flesh. It's the violent embrace, the violent embrace, the violent embrace of a God who says if you ask, if you seek, if you knock, the door will be open unto you.
When it comes to trials, when it comes to tribulations, when it comes to frustration, when it comes to what seems like overwhelming defeat, what is the position that you take during those times? It's not to lay down and quit. It's to get up on your feet, put your boxing gloves on, pull your hair back, throw on some Vaseline on your face, take your earrings off, and fight the good fight of faith.
This world must have a Christian that is full of the Holy Ghost and fire. The devil is not over your head. The devil is not eye to eye. The devil's the same place today that he'll be tomorrow. Under your feet.
Break this law down. Spiritual impact produce riqueza material. Материальное богатство. No puedes tratar con personas que van a hacer que parezca que dijiste cosas.
This world must have a Christian that is full of the Holy Ghost and fire.
El diablo no está por encima de ti. El diablo no está a tu nivel. وبكرة تحت رجولك أعظم حركة لله بتاريخ الأرض. 我不是在旁观，我正与你们一同参与其中。
I see revival sweeping over this earth.
Criez Amen encore une fois. Amen.
Hey everyone, it's Mitch here on the island of Ireland, extending greetings on behalf of Crown Jesus Ministries to Pastor Jonathan at Dallas and the entire Revival Today church family. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your generous spirit. You continue to be one of our biggest regular donors. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for the anointing that you carry. You know, we found a socket. You guys are a socket, and we're so glad that we can tap into all that God is doing through you. Some highlights over the past year. Well, first and foremost, we do evangelism. We're not a church, so we're committed to communicating the good news of Jesus in a real and relevant way. We have 4 different venues, 2 in the Republic of Ireland, 2 in the north, 1 in Dublin, in Monaghan, and 2 in and around Belfast City. In person, we were in over 140 different schools last year. Probably another 200 schools would get our resources in a digital way and through physical resources. And we've seen hundreds of young people respond to the gospel thanks to our schools ministry. At one event, 200 young people attended, 200 young people responded. A few weeks later, in a smaller village, 35 young people attended. 35 young people responded to the gospel. We had the privilege of headlining one of the largest Christian youth festivals in Ireland. 1,800 young people attended, and over that weekend, 250 young people responded to the gospel. What a privilege it was to preach at that event. We delivered the gospel into 20,000 homes in County Offaly. We delivered the gospel on St. Patrick's Day into 28,000 homes in Limerick. And we're starting a project this Sunday in Armagh where the gospel will be distributed into 68,000 homes. On top of that, we'll be preaching in churches in Armagh, running evangelism training, and every week on the streets sharing the gospel with others. So we appreciate you. We love you. We hope you're encouraged by this short broadcast. A gentle reminder as we finish, not a proof text, but a key text to all that we do is in Revelation chapter 7, verse 10. It says this: salvation belongs to our God. It's not man's work, it's God's work. It's my job and it's your job to be salt and to be light, but salvation is the work of the Lord. So in closing, we give Jesus all the glory, all the honor, and the praise. I hope to see you all soon. Thank you for all that you do for the kingdom of God in Ireland and beyond. Shalom, shalom. God bless.
Praise God.
Thank you.
Yes. What did Jesus do for you today?
Help me walk again properly.
Oh, praise God.
I never thought this was possible again.
Praise God.
5 years. 5 years, my life, not being able to walk properly and not being able to actually take my steps properly. Now I feel like I can actually walk properly.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Praise Jesus.
I'm so happy.
Jesus. Praise God. Amazing, brother.
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
What's different between you and me is you're going to hell when you die.
What kind of names were these kids calling you at the pool?
Meathead, Fatso, Wide Butt, Rally the Whale.
Porky, Hog, Fat, Double Wide, Butterball, those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
You're handsome and smart and a hard worker and... let's be honest, white, that's a huge plus nowadays.
Talking about hitting women, sweetheart. And I think you just added another reason.
We're very likely dealing with a mental illness here. And the behavior is so outrageous that it can sound comical when you hear it from the outside looking in.
Only girls can grow up to be the mummies. Only boys can grow up to be the daddies.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Yeah, I'm out to Queenside, grew up in Jamaica, now in Mar-a-Lago, but I'm New York forever. My way like Sinatra, that's how I made it here. I can make it anywhere, Trump Towers everywhere. Mogul with the Riz, no, you never really see those. Sip a Diet Coke, grab a Big Mac at McDonald's. Trump building majesty, 40 Wall Street. Catch me at the plaza, shooting Home Alone scenes, cruising down Broadway. Jet black Cadillac, motorcade slow drop, a fortune like Sajak. Build a skyscraper, Bole's Tower, made another billion, it's like a superpower. Used to hang with John, catch me at the Knicks game. Now I'm sitting ringside, MSG will scream my name. Riggers think I'll tap out, they don't know my pedigree. Tell by my attitude that I'm most definitely from... Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. MAGA, let the love flow, Democrats corrupt. Yo, we know it's do or die. We taking it all back, so feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve gas like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around. Jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jonathan Shuttlesworth with my best pal in the whole wide world, McGullis Griffiths. Today, Trump assassination update, SpaceX success, and the Tim Walz October surprise, exclamation point, maybe a question mark after we examine it today.
Allegedly.
Glad to have you on. Looking forward to seeing your brand new jump around videos. It's been a great week. Thanks for sticking with us as we head into the election. Let's check the news. All right. Dave Portnoy weighing in. Roll it.
All right. Every once in a while, I get so fed up with politics, I got to do a rant and just let steam off. I try not to, but I've hit the boiling point. And it's the gaslighting that the left is doing with Kamala Harris, making it sound like she's some great, groundbreaking candidate. She is the worst candidate to ever run for president ever. There's two people voting in this election. Either you're voting for Donald Trump, you like Donald Trump, or you hate Donald Trump and you're voting against him. But Kamala Harris, let's stop it. And what put this over the edge for me? Last week, I'm watching our campaign rally and she's up there being like, we need to turn the page in America. It's time for a new way forward and I'm your candidate for change, and they're hooting and hollering.
It's time to turn the page.
I agree. You're the page.
And America is ready for a new way forward.
And then I see her at a rally today, and it's the same message again. Time to turn the page. We need a new generation of leadership.
It is time to turn the page.
You're in office.
Embarrassing. It is time to turn the page because America is ready to chart a new way forward.
Who's in charge of writing her speeches? What is going on?
Generation of leadership.
This is the sitting vice president of the United States currently saying she's the candidate for change. Okay, fine. And by the way, she has to, because I think 90% of Americans, left or right, like the last 4 years under Biden, not great. Look at the world stage. Afghanistan was a disaster. The Middle East is basically in flames. You got Russia. Then on the homeland, inflation's out of control. People burning American flags in the street. The defund the police. Law and order doesn't even seem to matter anymore. You got the border, immigration. There's so many issues. Both sides be like, yeah, we need a change from Biden. Probably why the Democrats whacked Biden and installed Kamala Harris as the candidate. So she's like, we need change. We need this. We need that. But at the same time, when she's on her media tour last week, friendly interviews, Alex Cooper, call her day, hey Alex, Colbert, The View, and she's being asked, the most simplest questions, softballs that she probably knew were coming. Hey, Kamala, how are you different from Joe Biden? What will be different since you are the sitting vice president of the United States now and you're out saying you're the candidate for change? She cannot answer it. She can't answer it. She literally is saying, well, I've pretty much been in every big decision. I'm the same as Joe Biden. I agree with him on everything.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had.
I'm not saying this to like mock her. I don't understand how they give you that softball question. You know that Biden was so unpopular that they had to emergency replace him, and you line back up with him. And he's currently throwing you under the bus. Like, that was your opportunity to do it too.
That's one of the reasons why we thought that she was tired. Because there was just like no effort. At that point, you're just giving up. And so there's just you're not even trying at that point. There's no fight in her. And that's why I said, nothing comes to mind.
Nothing comes to mind. He's one of the most unpopular presidents of all time.
It's wild.
You should have thought of something. Here's what you should have said, even if you were with him 100% of the way, if you're a politician. I basically, if you've noticed, was pretty much in the background for the last 3 years because there were many policies I didn't agree with, and I'm looking forward to charting a new course. How hard is that to spit out?
No doubt.
You alcoholic. Continue.
Impact.
Or she just rumbles and stumbles like, well, I grew up and I worked at McDonald's, and you know how I'm going to be different? My name is not Donald Trump.
Polling shows that a lot of people, especially independent voters, really want this to be a change election. And that they take a break for you in terms of thinking about change. You are a member of the president's administration. Under a Harris
They're trying to help her.
They really are.
What would the major changes be?
He's trying so
and
hard.
What would stay the same?
For him.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this...
I'm not Joe Biden and I'm not Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, thanks for the info. I'll tell you what Dave Portnoy said is true. There's no voting for Kamala Harris. There's just voting against Trump because there's nobody ever can counter anything you say positively about Donald Trump or against Kamala Harris without just saying, what about Trump?
Yeah.
It's like, no, actually, she's got a great plan. It's like, yeah, what about, he's an adulterating, thieving, lying, racist, misogynist, xenophobe. Continue.
Next generation of leadership looks like were I to be elected president. It is about, frankly, I love the American people and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have...
Albert is probably like, what the literal heck is that?
She nailed it, though. We are ambitious people with dreams. Like the dream to go from Montel Williams' side piece in a $19 spandex dress to President of the United States. So you got to give her that. Continue.
Not wrong.
Incredible work ethic. And I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity.
What are we talking about? That people are saying such a great leader. And
Pause.
No.
And I like this too because Dave Portnoy is no conservative.
100%. He was a Democrat.
Yes.
I'll say it in a minute too. That his
dad hates Trump.
Yeah.
Continue.
Stop gaslighting us. There's two types of votes right now in this country. You're either voting for Donald Trump, I am. And by the way, I don't ever really love like celebrity endorsements, whatever. Do your research, make your own mind. But there's two types of votes. You're voting for Donald Trump or you're voting against him because you hate his guts and you'd vote for a potato or a head of lettuce or anything. That's my dad. It doesn't matter who's running. He hates Trump so much, he'd vote for whatever you put up there. But Kamala Harris can't even answer the easiest questions of all time. She never gives a straight answer. She doesn't seem to be able to put coherent thoughts together. It's actually scary for me.
There's a YouTube commenter, Zona Morrison, who's just mentioned for the third time that my father does a Bible study online and how great it is. I'm starting to think my dad created a fake account named Zona Morrison to promote his Bible study.
on Check the News. If that's true, shame on you, Dad. Continue.
Think about like what she'd be on the international stage. So that's all I'm saying. That's what's pushed me to the boiling age. I am so sick of being gaslighted like she's some great candidate. There was a reason when she ran for president last time, she didn't get one vote. She dropped out before the primaries. There's a reason they waited, the Democrats, till after Biden got the nomination because she wouldn't have gotten it again. She is the worst presidential candidate in the history of American politics, honestly. Now, if you still want to vote for her because you hate Trump that much and you can't stand him, you think he's all this evil shit, do it. But stop the gaslighting, please. The footage is there. She can't answer simple questions. If you have any issues with the last 4 years, that's her. And she, even though she's saying she's the change candidate, she literally then will go on interviews and be like, oh, same thing. I can't think of one thing different. It's like I'm taking crazy pills.
And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
McGoss's mic needs boosted. I'm seeing in the comments, guys. Next. The momentum is on President Trump's side. This is on Newsmax. Roll it.
The momentum is on President Trump's side, and Kamala Harris is declining her support with the American people with only 22 days to try to turn it around. And it's because the American people are seeing her for who she is. She's engaged in more media interviews lately. We welcome that because every time she opens her mouth, people realize she is ill-equipped to be the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world. And they are remembering how much better their lives were under President Trump's policies. We had no inflation, a secure border, peace around the world. Now we have war in the Middle East, war in Ukraine. Wide open border, inflation is still 20% higher.
Pause.
Prices are still.
I've never seen like the bathroom carpet that's by the sink made into a dress before. Continue.
20% higher than they were when President Trump was in office.
It's so accurate.
You have an
Weird.
incumbent vice president who's been a failure. You have a former president who was a great success. And Americans realize that contrast is on the ballot, and that's why they're leaning in President Trump's direction.
Excuse me, when you're done with that dress, can I have it to stand on while I brush my teeth? Next. 3 years ago, Elon, people thought I lost my mind. Roll it.
If you can move mass to the ground side, it's better to move mass to the ground side.
Right.
That's why we took legs off the booster and have the tower catch it. Which sounds mad. I mean, yeah, I know it sounds insane. But when I suggested that, people thought I was lost my mind. Which I'm like, maybe I have. But I think it might take a few kicks at the can, but we'll get it right.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, because that was considered by physicists impossible.
That guy, man.
Roll the footage of it re-entering the Earth and landing.
Well, there it comes.
How fast that thing is falling, too.
Wow.
Well, let's see relights.
It's like Kamala's poll numbers.
Relights would be, you can see it. Yes, this will get real, it's going to go.
Is that his voice in the background?
It's like it's like a graph of new Methodist churches started.
Holy shit.
Tell me how that is possible.
No freaking
Look,
way.
he's going to land it right in the thing.
No freaking way. No freaking
I have goosebumps. What?
Wow.
And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage.
Guy's
I'm getting
amazing.
everything. I'm getting
Now,
everything.
that's the
I
stuff
used to hate
leaders
Teslas
should be
and all
made
that
of.
kind of stuff. I'm getting the whole thing. I'm getting a Cybertruck. I'm getting a Tesla house. I'm getting the robot. I'm signing up for the robot.
Hey, real quick before you do that, I wanted to talk to you. You're fired. Just go easy about making plans because you're
Seriously, that guy is something else. What in the world?
That's a cool place to go visit.
What place?
The SpaceX launch.
California? Where
No,
is
it's
it?
in Texas. It's down in the Rio Grande Valley, right by the beach.
I don't think I've ever been to the Rio Grande Valley.
Where did your family enter? Where did you guys cross?
Don't laugh at that.
More El Paso?
It's media. It's very rude.
Arizona?
Very rude.
Next. Battleground states among Catholics. Trump is winning Catholics. Democrats. Trump could
How is
never
it even
win
that
Catholics.
close?
+5. Close. Can somebody find? Oh, there it is. Previous. Biden was winning Catholics when they replaced him by 5.
Oh, that's right, because everybody.
So, you know, it's a
natural
great
Catholic.
idea to do if you're losing the Catholic vote. Come out with a speech against Christopher Columbus. That's what she did today. So you can see that that +5 is going to go to +10 after today. Great job, Kamala. Next.
Oh, gosh.
I believe it's very important that Kamala Harris pass a test on cognitive stamina and agility. Her actions have led many to believe that there could be something very wrong with her. Even 60 Minutes and CBS, in order to protect Lion Kamala, illegally and unscrupulously replaced an answer she had given, which was totally bonkers. I haven't heard that since like the 80s. You're bonkers. I'm going to start bringing that back. Buddy, you're bonkers. I cast out the spirit of being bonkers with another answer that had nothing to do with the question asked. Also, she's slow and lethargic. And tweet more, please.
No doubt.
Slow and lethargic and answering even the easiest of questions. She just went through almost 4 years of that. We shouldn't have to do it. Or we just went through almost 4 years of that. We shouldn't have to do it again. Great way to play it.
That
right?
is absolutely
with her asking
perfect.
for his health records. Next.
What idea was that? Come on now.
This is how government works. Next. Roll it.
Sense.
Kamala chose a white husband. Why can't black men choose a white president?
Great logic.
Wow.
We'll play it one more time. I think he's on our bus ministry.
Kamala chose a white husband. Why can't black men choose a white president?
Great TikTok video. Well said.
Fantastic.
They've all turned on you, Kamala. They don't like you. Next. This Tim Walz molested student story is likely the potentially career-ending story that Trump world was vetting recently. It should be telling that they apparently passed on the story. I'd be careful and refrain from running with this until a lot more verification is done. Continue. 2005, Nancy Pelosi rails against the Bush administration for not securing the border and enforcing our immigration laws. Roll it.
Pause. The one thing about rumors is that there is a tiny bit of truth to certain things.
He got fired. He got fired from that teaching
Coaching?
job.
Oh, teaching.
Yep. After him and his wife took a gay student to a concert, but that might be it. So, you know, and if you start, it's like the people with the Dominion voting machines. If you start like just railing Tim, calling him a child molester and stuff, you're gonna get sued.
No doubt. But still, I just think that it's interesting that of all the stories to rise, you know, you never heard, you know, Trump being accused of pedophilia.
No, he likes chicks.
But still, you know what I mean? So whatever comes of this story, I just think it's very interesting. Plus, with all the stuff that we've uncovered in the past, when he initially made, she made him the vice presidential pick, there was a story about, did you hear about this? The horse?
That was fake. That was another guy named Tim Walz in another state.
I see. Well, that makes sense.
The problem that he has is he looks like he does all those things. He has a Jerry Sandusky look to him.
No doubt.
Can I get a picture side by side of Jerry Sandusky and Tim Walz? But what we're saying is it's important to remember. Good morning, Ted Melton. Just because you look like a child molester and behave like a child molester and dress like a child molester and reload a shotgun like a child molester doesn't make you a child molester.
That's true. But also the importance of persuasion in 2024, because that's all it takes, is that if you look like a little weirdo, it counts against you.
And talk and move. Like if he came to Revival Today Church and I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, have security stand near that guy. He looks nuts. How he's dressed, how he tried to reload a shotgun. Who puts the
I didn't see that.
Who puts the butt of the gun in their balls to brace to reload the gun? If it went off, he'd have been off the campaign trail for about 6 weeks. She hasn't seen the reload.
I would love to watch that.
And now the show begins to go off the rails. You have it. Need a little time. All right, play Pelosi. Oh.
Whoa.
See?
Yeah. Ooh. Isn't he dead? Sandusky died, right? In jail?
Did he?
I think so.
It'd be a shame. No wonder my heart felt heavy this morning. Continue.
Broken borders. That's an oxymoron, something we can't tolerate. Borders of their nature, our definition
Jerry
as a
Sandusky's still
nation,
alive.
and our protection as a country.
Hanging out outside of a Chuck E. Cheese somewhere.
They don't exist. We can't tolerate them. So let's say from the start that we all in this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats,
she actually looks better now.
support strong border control. and it must be
Why
part,
has she been out of
and
the
first part
picture? I
of
haven't
any
heard anything
comprehensive
from her.
Right, because she's
immigration
100.
reform. We have it is our obligation.
I guarantee you
as
she doesn't
elected
support
officials
Kamala.
to
Has she
keep
come out
the American people
for Kamala?
safe.
Good question.
And our borders
I bet she has.
are our
She
first
probably.
Okay, she was for
one of
closed
our
borders. We get on to listen to this
early lines of
rambling
defense
speech.
to do that.
Boy, her
Democrats
outfit
support
quality's gone up
also
too.
enforcing laws,
2005.
current laws against
Oh, she did good in the stock market.
here illegally.
Yeah, I don't think
and
so.
Well, she
those
trades
who
almost like
hire
she has
illegal
advanced
immigrants.
information. Next.
Yet the Bush administration has refused to do.
And it never fits quite right. Never fits quite right. It's not quite right. How do you give it back?
Governor, what kind of gun is it?
This was a Beretta A400.
And that Beretta too.
He has it braced at the bottom of his pelvic bone.
Because it has a
I've never seen that in my life. Not that I'm an experienced hunter. I've never walked in when my dad's like doing stuff with his gun.
This was a Beretta A400.
Guys, make it a shirt. That's what we're gonna do for the shirt today.
Horrifying.
Have him with the tampon reloading. That's our check the news shirt today.
Listen, the Berettas are so nice and smooth too. They're like an Italian-made shotgun. Adalis has two.
I can't imagine walking
it's
into
like
the living room
super-
when my
it's
dad's
super
cleaning his
easy.
guns or reloading him. Like, Dad, everything okay? Dad, I don't know much about guns. Don't reload like that. Don't point it.
Maybe take.
Don't point the barrel at anything you don't want to shoot. And don't put the butt at your
Who is in charge
genitals.
of doing whoever's in charge of doing these kind of like stunts is against the campaign. Don't you think? It's hard to
that was
make a case
supposed to
for
win
this.
male voters over.
I know,
They're like,
and then
that's my kind of guy. Oh, play.
The video, yes, of all the men that were like, you know, I'm a man and I'm voting
Yes,
for Kamala. That
it looked like a Babylon Bee thing.
It did.
I thought it was parody. Hey, wait, then it gets worse. Then he says, does anybody have a Diet Mountain Dew? I want to pound one of those.
He does not.
From the beginning.
And I'm going to grab a Diet Mountain Dew if we got one.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to pound one down. So
I'm going to pound one down. You don't pound down a Diet Mountain Dew. I'm going to shotgun a friggin' Shirley Temple. Somebody pass a Shirley Temple down here, I'm going to friggin' rip into one. Anybody got a virgin pina colada? I'm going to friggin' down it. That's a man right there. Diet Mountain Dew, 12-gauge shotgun rammed into his junk. Next.
Did he kill anything?
He killed his testicles. If that gun went off, that would have been the best video in the history of videos. Can't get this to reload.
No, but really, did he kill anything, or was it just to show that he can reload a gun? Did he actually kill something?
He couldn't reload it. He couldn't get the shells in.
So he never even shot the gun?
I don't think so. If he did, they never showed it.
Please, can you guys just take a look? Just please, did he actually shoot the gun, or was he just there?
Picture a man. Like
he was hunting?
picture Chris Beggarly watching that video and thinking that's gonna get him to switch from Trump.
No way, no way.
You know what? That guy's just like me. Shotgun jammed into his coin purse. Next.
Lord.
You know what? I wasn't gonna vote for Tim Walz, but when I saw him jam the butt of that Beretta into his twig and berries, and not be able to successfully put one shell in. That clip couldn't have been gayer if it was a cast line chorus party. I see that dude is getting millions of views getting his Tim Walz story out. Drip, drip, drip. Radiant Sunshine said mentioning testicles is not very nice or polite. Is that true?
What? Where?
You can't mention them?
No.
The comment said mentioning testicles is not very nice or polite. No wisdom. I feel like you're kind of judgy.
Would you? I mean,
If you-
have
do
you
you know-
heard?
do you know
She
all I've
doesn't
been
watch
through-
our show. She doesn't watch our show because if she thinks testicle is bad.
And we told you not to watch in the beginning. We told everyone not to watch, so it's fair warning. But do you know, before you just start throwing out insults or corrections, do you know everything I've been through as a cisgendered white male? If you know... I wear my heart on my sleeve. If you know me, you know I despise Tim Walz and would never do anything to assist his electoral chances. Nevertheless, I try to remain a person of integrity. If when the dude reports something meaningful that either A, is not already open source public knowledge, B, includes official and incriminating government or school district documentation, or C, includes assertions of illegal behavior by Walz from a named and independently verifiable source, then somebody please wake me and let me know, because I would love for these accusations to be verifiably true. Until then, however, I'm not playing Kraken-level engagement farming. Exactly. Sydney Powell. Has she released the Kraken yet?
Where the heck is she anyways?
Who knows?
She's a CIA
Probably
plant.
playing center for a women's basketball team. Next.
Release the Kraken.
Nice shot. Oh, you got that. That was a good shot. And we'll get another one. They are shaking like crazy.
Pause. Dude, I bet they never actually show him shoot a bird because it would like hurt him with liberals.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I was wondering if this footage even existed.
It's a non-hunt hunt. Where's a drone strike when you need one? Continue.
On to something. Rooster! Nope, don't shoot. They came up behind you. That happens. A couple years ago, I got double when we first started. Went right up my leg, like it was hitting my.
What? What went right up his leg?
Why does he do this?
A pheasant? How large? What were you wearing? Jenko jeans?
What is going on?
Hey, here's something too. If you want to get something when you're hunting, try not to just stand around and talk and pop open sodas. Guys just trudging through the field, not getting anything. Be louder. Play from the beginning.
Nice shot. Oh, you got that. That was a good shot. And we'll get another one. They are shaking like crazy, Scott. He's on to something.
Yeah, picking up child molester vibes.
Don't shoot. They came up behind you. That happens.
What?
A couple years ago, I got a double when we first started. Went right up my leg, like it was hitting my leg as it went up.
He got a double, and it went right up his leg? What went up his leg?
I don't know. What is a double?
He's talking about bird hunting. The two birds went up your leg.
Can you guys show the pictures of us bird hunting?
You're weird. Yes, those are two ladies.
This is how real men do it. Next. That was us. That was our bounty of the day. Talking about men, there's Chris.
Where's the Diet Mountain Dews?
Gotta pound down some Mountain Dews.
Gonna friggin' pound it. Put on figure skate and I'm gonna pound the Diet Mountain Dew.
Nice shot. Oh, you got that. That's a good shot. And we'll get another one. They are shaking like crazy, Scott. He's on to something.
Where's Dick Cheney when you need him?
Nope, don't shoot. They came up behind you. That happens. A couple years ago, I got a double when we first started. Went right up my leg, like it was hitting my leg as it went up.
What?
Oh, pan in. Pan. Well, it's hunting, not shooting, right? You knew it, didn't you, man? And I'm gonna grab a Diet Mountain Dew if we got one. I'm gonna pound one down.
Pound it. Pound the hell out of it. Destroy that Mountain Dew.
No. That's what he said.
Bro, he was pounding Diet Mountain Dews. You should have seen it.
Yeah, that's right. You better.
He must have had 3.
It was fun. You got to get out.
It was fun. That's what I said. There's good days and there's great days, pheasant hunting.
Yeah. That's $1.
Just blasted into the woods. Great pick for vice president. Good job not picking Josh Shapiro. She picked Josh Shapiro, she probably would have won.
You're not lying.
Yeah. You hate Jews so much that it's going to cost you the election.
You aren't lying. Man, that guy would have been... Who knows what could happen in October, though. What
Democrats hate Jewish people.
What would happen if, say, there is some validity to the story?
It's too late to replace him or anything. You would just be like vice presidentless and then have to like get one after the election. Because ballots already printed. You know, it's like you can't replace anything. They wouldn't even they wouldn't even make changes to the RFK back then in some states. Now all ships have sailed. Ballots have been mailed out.
Wow.
Whose husband's Jewish? Oh, Kamala. Yeah, I know, but then it's too Jewishy for the Democrat Party if you have a Jewish husband and a Jewish vice president, because the Democrats
hate Jewish people.
They hate Israel, that's for sure. Next. Georgia, Donald Trump up 3. Next. The average Democrat consultant working on trying to win the male voters. My wife is bisexual and non-binary, and my daughter is transgender. My queer family helped me better understand myself and my masculinity.
Wow.
You don't have any masculinity. You look like a young Ebert and Roper. Next.
Wow.
Look, if you make less than $400,000 a year, Kamala Harris is not going to raise your taxes, period. And if you make more than $400,000, congratulations, you're doing great. And you can afford to pitch in a bit more for the public good. First of all, screw you. Response. I remember when they said this in 2020, LOL, yet we're all paying way more in taxes, more on gas, more on groceries, more on insurance, more on healthcare, more on housing. The border czar let in 20+ million illegals, and we're paying for them too.
Jeez Louise.
And there is nothing for North Carolina or Eastern Tennessee.
Yep.
So go reload a shotgun in your genitals. Next. If that lady's still watching, testicles. How do you like that? Hey lady, testicles. Deal with it. Here's another. First of all, that's the proper word. That's the medical word.
No, we've said way worse stuff on this show.
I didn't say change purse, twig and berries.
How old are you? If I might
gazones.
may ask, please.
Yeah.
Let me know how old you are in the comments.
Here's another video of Vance saying he won't support Trump because he's a liar and racist. And I found this interesting. Because remember these old days?
Awful slang language, too much sarcasm.
Where's this? Where was
what
that?
are you doing here?
Radiant Sunshine. You know, when your name's Radiant Sunshine, you gotta, at least she's consistent. She's all about just blue skies, white clouds.
I can't imagine having the time to be able to sit on YouTube and comment on something that I didn't like. I don't understand how people get the time to do this.
Radiant Sunshine, quick question. How many years ago did your husband run for the hills? Because he just couldn't take it anymore. Because you want to know why these women do this? Their husband couldn't take being yelled at or talked to like that anymore. So he left a long time ago. So now they actually have to go around on the internet and look for men to yell at, since their husband's 9 states away and 3 alimony payments behind. Am I in the ballpark?
Wow.
Have I profiled correctly?
Wow.
Even your cat is currently tying a noose to looking for a ceiling beam strong enough to hang itself. Here's here's J.D. Vance back when he didn't like Trump. Roll it.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. It makes you think that at a fundamental level, this is sort of a he said, she said, right? And at the end of the day,
dang,
believe Donald Trump, who
a little bit heavier, a little bit thick.
Just kidding.
So I grew the beard
on that tape.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Trump because I think he's a fraud. Well, I think he's a total fraud that is exploiting these people, who is a total fraud.
Like you said, I agree with you on Trump because I don't think that he's the person. I don't think he actually cares about folks.
There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. I think there's a chance, if I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, that I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. I think that I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
Thanks, whoever said they were going to send that in. Great comments today.
Gina.
So what do you think about that after you see that?
I knew all about his prior.
So explain to me, because that's my first time seeing it.
So when we initially brought up like all of the VP picks, the potential ones, we talked about Vivek and what Vivek had said about JD Vance, what JD Vance had said, and most of them were flip-flopping. But I think that when you're only getting, if you're coming from 2020 perspective or prior, 2016 even, you're only getting one side of the story. And at that point in time, 2016, you're talking about, you still had trust in the media. True or not true? So only in 2020 was there an awakening where you knew there was something wrong with the media, that the media was compromised. So any news that you had about Donald Trump, you trusted the news. You trusted what people were saying. And so you didn't think that there was some sort of like swamp to be cleared. That swamp, clean the swamp was because of Donald Trump. So you didn't really, so that's why, and that's part of what he has said. He's like, you know, I've always just bought into what I heard in the news. So of course you base your opinion on the things that you're seeing in the news. Now, so many years
I mean,
later,
come on, I'm going to hold my nose and vote for Hillary. Yeah, I didn't know everything I know now in 2015, but at no point was I like, this guy's mean.
No
We
doubt.
have to vote for Hillary.
No doubt.
He really underwent like a real change. He must have, because they vetted him, and Trump would never have anybody with him that had inklings of like still didn't like him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that there's also, I don't know if there was like some sort of like, you know, Christian development too, you know, after a certain while. I'm sure that after 2020, everybody just kind of, you have to, you know, figure out things out as far as like a spiritual point of view. So I think that also helped boost, because he wasn't like a Christian. From what I read, he turned into like Christian Catholicism in like 2020, like just recently.
Right.
So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure why he would go for Hillary. I guess I don't care at this point.
Yeah. Next. Hey man, you voting for Harris?
Oh, no!
Next. Yesterday, I released my medical records. Donald Trump should do the same. This was put out by Kamala Harris's team, and this is their evidence that they feel like Trump's in cognitive decline or whatever. I think this makes her look worse than him. You be the judge. Roll it.
I invite the public to watch his rallies and be the decision maker.
We do.
She's worse speaking than he is in this clip she's using to show that he needs to release his records. In my opinion.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
I invite the public to watch his rallies and be the decision maker on his acuity.
Just come up, they want to do things like no more cows and no windows in buildings. They have some wonderful plans for this country. Honestly, they're crazy.
Why would you include a clip of him calling you crazy in that thing? Like it even seeded.
Yeah, I don't know. And what about that is nuts.
He spoke more clearly than her.
Absolutely. And that's part of the climate change plan.
Yes.
Cows emit too much CO2. So what is that? What about that is crazy?
Next. Roll it.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up.
Wait, go back a little. First time in 32 years?
Yeah. Yeah, but they released polls yesterday. We should pull some of the stuff I did yesterday about, do the CNN one and do the news. Did you see the Newsweek headline? Like prepare yourself for like a Trump landslide victory. That was in Newsweek yesterday.
Wow.
Because he's like leading. He doesn't have to even beat her. He can lose by 2% and still win like he did to Hillary. So if he's up in the popular vote, it's like blowout. Like he could take Minnesota, Virginia, you know, be like 100-point electoral win.
Wow.
So that got released yesterday. Donald Trump's, this is Newsweek. Donald Trump's chances of winning a landslide. Donald Trump's chances of winning a landslide according to odds polls. There's a better headline than that. I'd have to find it. Maybe they altered it today to make it less piercing.
Wow.
So go ahead, play Reese. Reince Priebus.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up. When you ask people a generic ballot in 32 years, it shows that Donald Trump's doing better with black voters, Hispanic voters, off the charts. But what the most important thing is, what happened last week is that
Who would have thunk that Donald Trump would be the great equalizer?
You know, another thing that Yossi Gestetner pointed out today that I didn't send to the team is that Republicans turned out to vote more in 2022 when they predicted there'd be a red wave. The problem was 10% of 5% of Democrats voted for Republican candidates, and 10% of Republicans that turned out, registered Republicans, voted for Democrats to stick it to Trump, like the ones he endorsed.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and that's not going to happen this time. So they already did have better voter turnout last election, but this time you're not going to have people cross over for Kamala by any means.
Close.
If anything, you're going to have Democrats cross over for Trump. Continue.
Yeah.
was working with female voters with Kamala Harris was that there was some feeling of joy in the air. Well, that joy is gone. She had a terrible week. She picked a pointless fight with Ron DeSantis. She, she was losing in the Sun Belt, and she tried to recover by going on The View, which a lot of women watch. She went on The View. You talked about it earlier. And she wanted to clarify the two most important issues that are facing these two candidates, the economy and immigration. And she bombed like Rory at the U.S. Open, and she went out there and said there was nothing she would do that would be different than Joe Biden. And she created a campaign commercial for Donald Trump. And so she's trying to recover. There is no
he is frustrated.
And everybody knows it. And it's obvious that there is a leak in the balloon here in the Kamala Harris campaign.
Did you see on that same show when Martha McCallum, I might have the wrong person, when she asked J.D. Vance about the few apartment complexes?
Yeah,
that's
she
only
annihilated him.
It's great, right?
Oh, he annihilated
When you guys
him,
get that, throw it back up. It's worth seeing
that
again.
is-
Next, Kamala Harris's campaign is falling rapidly behind Donald Trump, 3 new polls show. Where was that? Where's that from? Next. Sorry you had to read that. Crazy, a word I said on air accidentally one time. Crazy Carville. He's crazy. Now, we said this yesterday.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I don't know if you saw it. After Trump getting
Absolute
2 attempted assassinations.
And Psaki, do better. Do
Yeah.
better to have a guest like this on your show spewing that much hate. You're absolutely right.
That's the most hate. Not only did you start talking like that again, I haven't heard somebody say something crazier that would provoke violence against Trump
100%.
than this.
And
He's going to round up black men.
That black lady that had said that about him being a eugenicist or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. This is crazier than that.
Yeah, and then he's having a thing in Madison Square Garden to commemorate the Nazi rally of that. He is. You're like
lost
trying to
his
get
mind.
somebody shot.
Without a doubt. And then Jen Psaki to sit there and take it.
No, not take it. Smirk.
Yeah.
And then say, well said when he's done.
I like that you said that about persuasion. The number one way to persuade people is through fear.
And let me
that's
tell you,
without a
he's
doubt.
not crazy, Carville. He's doing that on purpose.
100%. 100% he's doing it on purpose because they know the tactics. And so we've talked about this on the show before. The tactics is if you repeat a lie long enough, it makes the illusion of truth. So all of a sudden you start hearing it from not just one outlet, but then over here, and they're allowing this for a reason. They're allowing this to kind of be seen and promoted because they want to create the illusion of truth. And it works on people. That's what's even crazier.
Yeah. And it got him shot in the head. And then everybody was supposed to take a break from that. Maybe we need to re-examine. And here you go, right back on MSNBC.
Thank you, Franny Bonaducci.
Continue. Roll it.
I did not realize when I said
Looking good, Carville.
he would actually go on television and say, I'm going to use the military to round up my political enemies. When I said that, General Flynn, who's going to be very senior in this administration, didn't say that the gates of hell will
He's already
rain
preparing
on
for
my
General
political
Flynn.
enemies. When I said that, I didn't know that he was going to schedule a rally at Madison Square Garden to mimic the Nazi rally of 10 February 1939. So they're telling you. And by the way, if they win, they're going to correctly say, we told you in the election what we were going to do, and you voted for us. You have green-lighted the whole thing. And if we don't tell people about that, if these young black men, how do you think they're going to do? If you're a young black male and Trump-inspired army roundup of people, how well do you think you're going to do in that? You think you got nothing to lose? How about looking at American history for one time and see what can happen here? And they are telling you. What? We're not making this up. This is not, we can be fact-checked by anybody. They have promised military roundup. They've promised the gates of hell will rain on the enemies. The Supreme Court has
You're so hoping they start with you.
They were asked the question, if a Navy SEAL is ordered to assassinate a political enemy, the president can't be.
Baby SEAL.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's just part of his job. They are telling you they're doing all of this. Pay attention.
Why
to
wear
them
green?
right
Why
now.
isn't this administration going after him?
You.
I would be going after like one legal case after the next.
That is exactly people.
Right. I would go after her.
That is why I think Harris is telling people to watch his rallies. I wanted to ask you too about this.
What
I find one of the things that's
It looked like Ronald McDonald Theo Ball's corpse, then pushed it down a flight of stairs.
Next. Okay, here it is. Roll it.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns.
Can you imagine?
A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Okay. Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policy.
And if you ever hear me say I hate the Republican Party, this is why. GOP mayor refutes Trump claim of gang takeover in Aurora. He's not being opposed by Democrats there. He's being opposed by Republicans. Continue.
Policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Next. Faith is a verb. This is Kamala Harris. It's something we show in action and service. It was my honor to worship with the Koinonia Family Church today in Greenville, North Carolina. Let me see the pictures. First picture. Pause. What stands out to you about this picture? I'll tell you what stands out to it about me. Is that you are one of the 2 top presidential candidates attending a church, and there's plenty of seats available because nobody gives a crap. Can you imagine if Donald Trump attended a church service? The place would be jammed. They probably wouldn't announce it ahead of time because it would like over jam the church. Continue. Decent crowd. It's not that big of a sanctuary. There's the drum prison that's built at every church, the plexiglass drum prison. It's like what they kept Hannibal Lecter in. Continue. Continue. Next. Paratroopers from the 98th Airborne Division of the Russian Armed Forces in the slowest moving war of all time eliminated a temporary base of Ukrainian drone operators in the Kursk direction. During aerial reconnaissance, a UAV operator detected a site housing Ukrainian FPV drone operators in one of the homes near the border of the Kursk region. In response, kamikaze drones were deployed to strike the location. As a result, the temporary base and its personnel were destroyed. Yikes. So they're in a house operating drones. You'd think you're safe. It'd be like being in your apartment complex and it's supposedly secured, but the Russians figured out that's where the drones were being operated from, and they gave it the old blow it up. Roll it. Back it up again. I didn't see it hit.
Dragonfly was dead. Colorful names.
You may scream. There is no change.
You're strong. Very strong. The strongest so far. But you're nearly dead. For what?
It is just a matter of time before we achieve a complete victory. There won't be a victory.
Every day your war machines lose ground to a bunch of poorly armed, poorly equipped freedom fighters. You underestimated your competition. If you'd studied your history, you'd know that these people have never given up to anyone. They'd rather die than be slaves to an invading army. You can't defeat a people like that.
I think you are too intelligent to believe such absurd propaganda.
Next. Gangs have taken control of... Okay, here's CBZ management that runs the apartment complex in question. This is wild. Gangs have... Before we go on with this apartment story, let's get the shirts up. Everybody, we feed 5,000 kids every morning. If you help us, I'm going to send you these 2 shirts today. Let's see them. Okay, then we'll do the 1 shirt for right now, and then we'll do the second one at the end of the show. Floor man?
Nada?
Oh, it's in the comments. I wrote for sure. Okay. So we'll have it for you momentarily. All right. Now this is, Magalas, is the apartment complex. Oh, here we go. They don't ban hate speech. They ban speech they hate.
Yes.
Great shirt. It's yours for helping us.
That is a great design.
I sent a picture one too, didn't I? What?
Wow, I love that one.
I heard them talking. Oh, okay. Relay the message.
Elon Musk.
There it is. So we will send that, and then we got, I think, 2 more for everybody that gives today. Here's the ways to give, and they'll keep it scrolling on the bottom. Revivaltoday.com, you click Give Now. Thank you, Check the News family. We started feeding 80 kids when we were doing Check the News, and then after you folks got involved, we've upped it to 5,000 children a day. Most of them, the only meal they eat. There's all the ways to give. Plus, if you want to mail a large check, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15.
I don't want to see this.
329.
Oh my gosh.
Don't forget to claim your offer on revivaltoday.com. Claim my offer. Here's the second shirt.
Where do you wear this shirt to?
Oh, that's the one I sent. That's right. Full screen. This is the first Tim Walz shirt. I'm just like you. Make Tim Walz bigger on the bottom.
Fantastic. Oh my word.
Yep, that's a great shirt.
These are fire.
If you don't give today to get those 2 shirts,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have questions about
What
your
else?
mental acuity.
What are we going to do?
So we got that one, and then they don't ban hate speech, they ban speech they hate.
Yes.
Thank you for
Love
getting it.
that.
They're going to continue to scroll at the bottom as we continue on. Thanks to all our TV audience. Glad you're watching. Everybody on the app, Phil, Michelle, J. Core. Everybody's screens are just V. Dillard, Ass Harp.
All right.
145. A Sharp. Let's either A Sharp or S Harp. Okay, so here's the property management. Gangs have taken control of several of our properties. Here's the property managers weighing in. So you can't call it a rumor now or something Trump. Here's them. CBZ management, they manage properties all over the state of Connecticut. In an attempt to discredit this fact for political purposes and avoid governmental accountability, some have spread false information about our situation. Let's set the record straight. Video? Geez, 16 million views. No, not that video. Or is that, was that the video at the bottom?
Information on what we've learned is happening inside an apartment complex. This video shows armed men walking through a building, knocking on doors, then entering an apartment.
What's up, Cash?
The apartment complex is at 12th and Dallas and Aurora.
In doing so, have taken over several apartment complexes.
Venezuelan gangs are taking over the real estate. They're becoming real estate developers. And they have... Do they get little cards? Their little card is a bullet.
Yes! Kamala Harris will work to deliver on that and secure the border.
Who's to blame? Carousel, if it will continue.
Yeah, it's with the shirt and tie there.
Property management
Regis Philbin.
simply not doing enough to help these residents.
From Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
With that property management team last week, they say
Is Regis alive?
that building
He's no
is
longer
actually
alive,
being
is he?
controlled by a certain gang, and they feel helpless. There's nothing
Certain
they can
gang.
do about it.
Just
They,
say
in
it.
fact, have kind of pushed out the property management.
That's the push that won't do anything, right?
Collected the rents.
exactly like
Aurora
those.
Mayor.
Have been made, but these operations
Nutless
are
Republican.
still ongoing.
Nutless.
Continue. We started managing these buildings when new owners acquired the Colorado properties in 2019. At the time, the properties were in poor condition, and our mission was to renovate them, thereby increasing their value. This was an ambition project that would significantly benefit. Okay, so okay, let's see one of the renovation things. I'm not going to watch all 4 of these. Okay, or not. Next.
Jenna, I live an hour from Aurora, and it is horrific. How so?
After some time, we noticed a rise in crime and tenant complaints.
Oh, my.
Is that a crime or the guy went to like a terrible dentist? I almost got it. The most alarming moment occurred when our local CBZ representative was attacked at the he had a knee on his eye and then pliers in his mouth. Attacked at the end of 2023. Wow. That's one of their local representatives who refuses to get his beard lined up. He had gone to inspect a recently vacated 3-bedroom apartment, a rare occurrence for such a large unit, only to find a group of men already inside. When he refused their $500 bribe to overlook the situation, they brutally attacked him.
Goodness.
That's what most people don't understand about organized crime. The bribe is not take it or leave it. It's take it or die. This photo was taken shortly after he escaped, just before being admitted to the hospital. The video footage comes from one of our security cameras, capturing the assault. Roll it. They surrounded him. It's not a good situation. I'd take the $500 and tell them I'd overlook it and then come back with some friends and start shattering some ribs. They're in the country illegally, do whatever you want. Why go 1 on 4? Then you can come back and go 20 on 4. Next. After the attack on our CBZ representative, he began getting threatening text messages.
What? How did you know his number?
Yeah, good job giving him your number. Stupid. Maybe move to another state.
It feels like this is one bad move after the next here in Aurora.
We also
set the whole dang thing on fire. No offense.
We also frequently found people illegally occupying newly vacated apartments during scheduled tours. This was initially attributed to an influx of migrants exploiting squatter laws. We even received a call from a tenant returning from vacation only to find strangers living in his apartment. The legitimate tenant was forced to find a new home after police wouldn't help him. Not couldn't,
why?
wouldn't.
Why?
Roll it.
Why? What?
Nothing matches. It's like the most poorly dressed gang in gang history.
Look, they've got a pirate's hat on, though. What is going on?
Man, how many are in there?
Golly.
Looks like lunch when we have lunch at your mom's house on Sundays after church.
That's true. I feel right at home. I don't see a problem with this.
Next. So they monitor and see which apartments are open and then spread out. So you go on vacation, you don't get your apartment back. This is insane. So it's actually worse than Trump let on.
Look at that car.
And then everybody that ran cover for it is an enemy of the state. Next. Full screen.
Oof.
When confronted, many of these illegal tenants and squatters claimed they had already paid rent, which we soon realized was true, but not to us. They were paying rent to a different entity. To address this entity, the gang, we contacted every city official. This is actually like a great business plan. Just go take over an apartment and tell everyone they pay rent to you.
Because look, not even the mayor is acknowledging that it's happening. So
to address this entity, we contacted every city official we could think of for help with the problem. Unfortunately, none were willing to take meaningful action. Meanwhile, our CBZ representative continued receiving threatening messages in which these criminals revealed his home address and his spouse's name. Wow. Finally, the APD, yes, FBI and Homeland Security informed us that those sending the messages were controlling our buildings were part of the notorious Tren de Aragua gang from Venezuela. They also mentioned that our situation was just a blip on the radar, as this gang is causing significant problems nationwide. 2 days after our FBI meeting, you useless bastards, the FBI. So you have like
totally useless.
You have like 50 people to raid Roger Stone, raid Trump.
100%.
And then when people actually, FBI's domestic. They're supposed to help us.
Oh, clean them out, dude.
You got nobody because it's a blip on the radar and you people suck.
Stinky.
I hope you get gutted by Elon Musk.
Honestly, I pray to God, yes. Did you hear what he said, that he was going to remove
80% of government workers? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ensuring Trump will lose the D.C. vote in Northern Virginia.
Had it anyway.
2 days after our FBI meeting, the gang confronted our on-site manager, asserting control over all 3 properties. In other words, this building's ours now. They offered an ultimatum: share rental income 50-50 or lose the buildings permanently. They also threatened to harm him and his family.
Wow, this is literally like a communist nation.
For the safety of our management team and their families, we withdrew them from the properties and focused on seeking help from government agencies. Back to me. Now, anytime you hear about this squatter stuff from illegal migrants and then they contact the police and the police say they won't help, why don't you just clear them out yourself?
Yeah.
Because they have no legal recourse.
Without a doubt. I thought about that too, but clearly you're talking about beta males and Aurora.
Why not just reenact the video game Max Payne with a few friends, door to door? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Keep going. Once we fully understood what we and our tenants were facing, we expected a swift response, because you're stupid, with the cities offering meaningful resources and police protection, perhaps even from the National Guard, to help us regain control of our properties. That never happened. Instead, we were left helpless, watching as violence, bullets, and destruction overtook our buildings. Many of our legitimate tenants fled out of fear. Despite the obvious crisis, several city officials refused to acknowledge the reality. Instead, they blamed us, citing code violations as the reason for shutting down our property. They shut them down so they don't have to deal with it. And our violations we couldn't resolve for tenants who weren't even ours. Roll it.
As far as what happens next, the city says unless the property owners remedy every single documented violation, the city will designate the building as unsafe due to its condition, not because of gangs.
So the bathroom sink carpet thing's in this fall, I guess. Continue. Finally, one city councilwoman, Danny Jurinsky, decided to take action after one of our last remaining legitimate tenants, Cindy Romero, reached out to her in desperation. Luckily, Cindy had her own cameras. Most of ours had been destroyed by the gangs, and provided video proof to the councilwoman. She realized the city could no longer ignore the situation if it was documented on camera. Once she gathered sufficient video evidence, she assisted the tenant in relocating to safety before publicly releasing the footage. Roll it.
There have been rumblings of new gang activity in Aurora all summer. Officials have skated around the topic, but now there's video and victims they can't deny.
It's really like being held hostage.
Cindy was a prisoner in her own home. She's lived in this building at 12th and Dallas for years. This summer, when crime got worse, Cindy got cameras.
Yikes.
Doorbell video.
You need a scope for it to shoot somebody from 4 feet.
Forcing their way into her neighbor's home. Another night, her camera outside captured 2 men approaching a vehicle, guns drawn. She's called 911 so often, they know her by name.
He said, ever considered leaving? If I could afford to leave, I wouldn't be there.
Pause.
She says neighbors follow.
Is anybody hearing this besides me?
What?
That U.S. citizens are having gangs take their apartments from them. And then when they call the police, they say, have you considered leaving the apartment?
Hell no.
And Colorado's going to vote all the same people in. Of course, it's a Republican mayor, so what difference does it make? You'd be getting treated the same whether you had a Republican or Democrat mayor. Continue.
Asleep to gunfire. Her car still damaged from an overnight shootout.
This is a bullet hole.
It was one of the
Son of
few
a
times
gun.
Aurora police responded.
They will call me and say, I'm sorry, but we're not coming. We're not coming until it's a bad enough crime.
This week, her pleas for help were finally answered, not by the city, but by Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky.
I think that politics is being played here with people's lives.
Good lady.
PD and the city denied gang activity. Jurinsky moved Cindy out of that apartment
She went
herself.
in there herself.
For weeks, officers have told her their hands were tied.
What I am told is that police leadership put it out that no less than
bless you,
3 or 4
Danielle.
officers
That's the mayor.
respond to one of these complexes.
Wednesday, Aurora.
No, I'm saying that's the mayor putting the order out. If the police say their hands are tied, that's the chief of police who gets his order from the
In a
mayor.
statement, APD says it would be improper at this time for the city and APD to make any conclusory statements about specific incidents or
Eat a bag of
details
monkey
about
nuts.
law enforcement strategy and operations. Based on our initial investigative work, we believe reports of TDA influence in Aurora are isolated.
I now have other property owners
Pause
in
it.
apartment complexes.
So then what do you get? What do you get in national news when Trump brings this up? He's saying he's so racist. He's saying that he's making these absurd claims that people from Venezuela are taking over people's house. He hates Hispanics. You're ignoring a real problem. This is the local councilwoman and the actual people in the apartment.
It's not as jarring to think that this is something so wild to even say out loud. It's not jarring to think that Venezuelan gangs took over an apartment complex. It's jarring that
Nothing
the
was
higher
done.
ups are in collusion with it.
That's right.
You better believe
They're getting
that
paid.
they're getting paid.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because if they told, they're smart, obviously. They didn't just say, like, get out of here, and if you come back, we'll kill you. They said, let's split the revenue 50-50. So if they're or you're out totally.
100%.
They're bribing people. So don't tell me they're bribing that person to look the other way on the violation, $500, and not kicking money back up to the police. Plus the mayor is getting money federally for relocating the migrants there.
That's exactly right.
You corrupt bastard.
Money to be made. Just follow
That
the-
Republican mayor.
Seriously.
That's why anytime
What
you
does
hear...
he look like? Grab a picture of him.
He was on in the beginning of the one video. That's why anytime you hear Christians praying, we need a red wave, Republicans, what are they? They're in on it too.
No doubt.
Continue.
Dang, dude.
Calling and telling me the same kinds of things.
Food is the biggest commodity over there.
Cindy says
I
she
see.
survived the ordeal by staying quiet, giving them food and bed bug spray every night, praying she'd hear sirens.
They left us there to die.
In her new home, far away, the peace she feels is fleeting. Because for so many others, she says there is no escape, no solution.
Pause.
And no sign.
And by the way, if Elon Musk doesn't buy X, we can't put this on YouTube. We couldn't put it on Facebook, and we couldn't put it on Twitter, and the news won't report it.
Yep.
Wicked people. Charles said Colin Dunlap's waking up, Pittsburgh's being exposed. Wasn't he already, though, before he had his, me and him like got together, wasn't he already against like this kind of stuff? He didn't change on that all of a sudden, did he? I don't know. Let me know. Continue.
That help will ever come.
My family lives in Aurora. My daughters live there. I talked them into moving
Pause.
to Aurora.
Remember this about the Second Amendment, too. Well, you have the police. They don't help. That's why the framers of the Constitution put you in charge of your own life.
So true.
Continue.
If someone doesn't do something now, their apartments are next.
Y'all make me sick. Y'all make me.
Oh, yeah. The one that looks like Bill Clinton. Yep.
There he is. Piece of human trash.
Wow, man. It's awful.
Private accounts full of money.
Yep.
For letting that happen to people.
No
You
doubt.
smiling prick. Next. By the way, if you're looking for a church, we have 2 locations for Revival Today Church. Pittsburgh, 10 a.m. Revival Today Church, Fort Worth, 9 a.m. We'd love to have you. I would love to be your pastor. Make it happen. You'll be glad you did. Next. Despite clear evidence, many still deny the reality of the situation, sometimes using us as scapegoats. That's why we're no longer staying silent. We will continue to counter falsehoods with simple facts and evidence. Yes, gangs did take control of our apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and the government did nothing. That is the real story. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Wow.
Next. I see Charles. Just in, Van Miller. I'm not going to play the video. Somebody said you should play his response. It's 17 minutes long. Van Miller, the man accused of the so-called third Trump assassination attempt, denies these reports and pushes back in a statement released online. Miller states he is a Trump supporter who was invited to be at the Coachella rally. He adds that he told officers he had loaded firearms in his trunk. Probably should have not done that in California. Furthermore, he is threatening lawsuits over defamatory statements and alleged police infringement. Well, if he's threatening lawsuits on defamation, I just want to say Van Miller is an outstanding human being. Next. Gwen Walz has an assignment for you. Pause. Bring it back to me real quick. Let me tell you something Democrats don't get about men, which is why they only have like effeminate, estrogen-ridden men as voters. Because they enjoy being lectured by women. Do you remember when Elizabeth Warren did that video when she was running for president in her kitchen and thanked her husband for being there?
Yes.
And it's his house, also with her.
Yeah.
And then, you think men like being lectured by women. You run it, Democrats control TV in Hollywood. It's always the man's dumb, the women talks down. You think this is going to get black men to vote and men to vote for Tim Walz, that his wife is going to give you an assignment and put on her teacher's glasses and tell you something you need to do? Judge for yourself. Roll it.
Hey, Kamala HQ. I'm Gwen Walz, and I have been an educator for a really long time.
You look like
And I'm here with an assignment for you today. It's due on November 5th. Now I'm going to put my teacher glasses on because this is really serious, like a final.
Pause.
And there's no late work. I need you.
No, let me tell you, men love to be talked to like this. They love to be condescended to. They love to be talked to like they're 8 years old and they're in school. They love when women do that.
What?
Go fold some laundry. Continue.
You to take yourself and 3 friends to the ballot box and make your voice heard. You have to vote. I'm going to repeat that again. You and 3 of your friends have to make your voices heard by voting. If you need more information, just go to iwillvote.com. And remember, no late work.
Don't push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe. Let it go. Let it go.
1 second.
What's going on? Why do the Democrats hate us?
And they don't understand people. Where's the hitting women one? There it is.
Talking about hitting women, sweetheart. And I think you just added another reason.
Go make somebody a sandwich, you emaciated broad. Next. The Biden-Harris America. Pay to pray. Migrant youth gangs terrorizing Times Square. So now it's Times Square from city-funded shelters. They don't have anything to do, so they just rob people.
Yeah. Yeah.
To pass the time. Hey, I got kind of a late start today. You want to come out and rob a few people?
Can't work.
Get a sandwich.
Here's the
chart that saved Trump's life.
chart. Yep.
Next.
All right, so party ID nationally. You go to October, November of 2016, Democrats had a 3-point advantage. You go 4 years ago, Democrats had a 6-point advantage. Look at where we are today.
And that's through September, not even now.
With a 1-point advantage. A very different picture, very much mirroring what we see in the party registration numbers in those key battleground states, and Pennsylvania in particular.
It actually just shows you, too, why Harris is doing what she's trying to do. She's trying to moderate a little bit on these issues, trying to reach those very voters because
see you, Tanya.
The party registration is changing and the demographics of the voters are changing. And those are the people she needs to attract.
Absolutely.
Pause.
And you know, the GOP leads by...
I'm reading the comments. This is another thought that I had, is Democrats don't persuade, they mandate and enforce.
Yeah.
So then when it comes time, they've never been down like we're seeing here. They were up 3, up 6. They're always playing from ahead, so then they can be nice. Now that it's flipped and they have to win people over, they don't know how to win people over. I'm giving you an assignment. And then Obama just lecturing black people and black men. You need to stand up for her. Listen to me. Just order people around because they're a communist party. And if any Republican leadership's watching, you suck too, but this is about the Democrats for now. Continue.
Point in party identification right now. The average when the Republican Party loses is the Democrats ahead by 8. When the Republican Party wins, the average party ID advantage for Democrats is 3. Republicans right now, Manu, are doing even better than the average.
When the Republican Party loses, the Democrat advantage is usually 8 points. When the Republicans win, they do it with a Democrat plus 3 advantage. Now it's Republican 1. 4 points in the other direction. Continue.
Average when they win, if there's one little nugget that I think Republicans are really hopeful for, it's this party ID and this party registration data. It really points in a good direction for them and for Donald Trump.
I can feel it down in my plums.
Next.
Me too.
A bill.
I can feel it down in my plums.
A billboard in Texas tells people to vote Democrat. So someone bought the space underneath and replaced it with this. Roll it.
They put a vote Democrat sign right above the shop. And that one right there is still available. So, should we do something?
I can feel it down in my plums.
Next. You know what would have been a great one? Hey, play Tim Walz reloading the shotgun again.
And it never fits quite right. I can feel it down in my plums.
Governor, what kind of gun is it?
I can feel it down in my plums.
All right, now. Debbie Dingle. That's a real name? Change it. How hard is it to go to the courthouse and get it changed to Smith or Anderson? Debbie Dingle says the message she's hearing from black men is, leave me alone. No, Democrats take us for granted. Stop talking to me, cracker. Trump talks to us directly. Are you concerned about black men voting for Trump or staying home? Roll it.
You just heard Donald Trump making his appeal to black men quite explicit. Your friend, Congresswoman Debbie Dingle, who you campaigned with in Michigan, says that the message she's hearing from black men is, quote, Democrats take us for granted. Donald Trump talks to us directly.
Pause.
Are you?
I have never felt, I hate to use the prophetic word shift, like I have with black voters, where it's like cool to vote Donald Trump, and you're like an old, you know what you are? Like right now, this is the feeling you get. If you're a black voter who wants to vote Kamala, it's like 1992 and you're still into heavy metal. Mm-hmm. And if you vote Trump, you're into Nirvana. 100%. Like when it changed, the music scene changed. You're like,
and it's been
like cool.
I would say that started as far as the transition into like, you know, culturally, Republicans do a very poor job at getting the vote, right? And being cool. But then it probably around February, you started hearing a bunch of the like YouTubers and all that kind of stuff promoting MAGA. And so then you started seeing this dynamic, and then now it's all the way over. I mean, anybody that is pro Kamala is somebody who is just not, I mean, at this point, people are now, they're understanding that if they come out in support of Kamala, they're going to get roasted, like the Taylor Swifts of the world, where it's like, you get ridiculed for coming out in support of her.
And I've noticed she hasn't done much to help her since then.
No,
Swift.
Of course not.
And I've noticed no musicians are like going to her stuff or anything anymore.
Of course not. Yeah, I mean, look at Beyonce and all that kind of stuff. Granted, they're under they're trying to stay away from the public eye, I'm sure, with the Diddy case, but still, it's not good. Nobody's coming in support of Kamala because it's embarrassing for artists. And the way that they get roasted on you know, if you look back when Taylor Swift did she said, I'm a cat lover, blah, blah, blah. All of those comments are just ridiculing her. So yeah, it is. It's great to see.
Next.
What did he say?
Sorry, 13 seconds, go.
Concerned about black men voting for Trump or staying home?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Yes, I am concerned about black men staying home or voting for Trump.
Yeah. Next. Don't put so much energy into it. Enjoy your only appearance. When you not only lose, hey, this is your big chance to be on TV.
I really am.
Anybody seen my answer? When you not only lose NBC, but also your sorority sister. Roll it.
Oh, yeah. The big headline, this is a national head-to-head poll, is that Vice President Kamala Harris had a 5-point lead in our last poll taken a month ago, right after the debate. That lead has all but evaporated, Willie. Take a look at this new head-to-head.
That's head-to-head, and then he's up one on the full field.
48%. That is what we call
NBC News.
A deadlocked race.
Oh, it is? Pause. Thanks, Kristen Welker, for pointing that out, that if the two numbers are the same, it's a deadlocked race. Thanks for that. That's great you have a degree. Continue.
We all know that this is tight, that the country is sharply divided. One of the other big headlines here, people are viewing the Trump presidency more favorably than the Biden presidency. Why is that significant? We've seen the vice president get pressed repeatedly on what she would do differently than President Biden, and she's really struggled with that answer.
There's plenty of reasons to hit a woman. You just don't do it.
Next. Okay, here it is. And by the way, when that statement that they take us for granted, black voters saying that the Democrats take them for granted, I really think there was a feeling of that a while back, and now it's like out in the open. And then when you basically just send everybody on a lecturing tour, like basically the message to black voters from the Democrats is do your job and vote for us. Right?
Yeah.
So there's no reasons.
And at this point, it's got to be, it's got to get old when the only times that you're seeing any of these faces are during the election year. And then they're out. They peace out.
Is it true? Thanks, Clay. Is it true that Kamala was raised in Canada?
So I wanted to do a deep dive. Harmeet Dillon apparently has years and receipts worth of all this kind of stuff.
They're in the same city.
Yeah, so I need to isolate. I need to go through it and watch it, but I'm not quite sure. But she has a litany of receipts. I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard the Canada thing.
You know, to try to convince, first of all, if you vote this way, you're a moron anyway. But even if you do, guys, if you're black, Kamala understands what we go through. Really? Somebody that grew up in Canada and had half Indian family. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like that's relatable to like a standard African American family.
Well, I mean, not to go make this thing. I think it's like dead at this point, whether she's black or not. But in that Harmeet Dillon interview, she says that she adopted the name Kamala after she started campaigning with Joe Biden and that kind of stuff to appeal to the black voter, but it's Kamala. And that's the way that the Indians say the name. And she was like, and for years, that's how I knew her. When she would go into the courts, you know what I'm saying? She would be the-
That would make sense then why she's like corrects people on the pronunciation.
Without a doubt. Now it totally makes sense. But that interview is loaded with that kind of stuff.
Who cares anyway? If she was Chinese, Eskimo, Antarctican, I don't like you. Roll it.
It is an honor.
Oh, pause. Wait, back to me. Show the tweet again. Hey, Kamala, our numbers are fading fast with Catholics. Can you say a few things on Columbus Day to salvage the vote? Kamala, hold my beer. Think of this. She's dropped 10 points with Catholics. Columbus Day. Columbus is a saint, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Here's her further ruining her campaign. Roll it.
It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations.
Terrible.
Perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease.
This is what you choose to talk about.
We must not shy away from this shameful past. And we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
You bunch of good-for-nothing yellow
Can't imagine. I cannot imagine that that's what she's going to be preparing a speech on. That's wild.
I don't
Christopher Columbus, this is what you choose to talk about.
I'd have laid off it if I lost 10 points to Catholics. If anything, even
about anything else that's more productive.
If you're on that side of it,
this isn't a unifying thing. Nobody gives a rat's patootie.
Quit lecturing people.
What in the world? Nobody cares.
No one likes being lectured.
This is not the full story of our history. Who literally cares?
I mean, I'm sure a few Navajo viewers care, but I'm just saying it's not.
It would ultimately only be Puerto Ricans, really. Those were the ones that were affected.
Well, and Navajo and
who's a hoe?
Okay, next. Trump leads Arizona. Harris leads PA. Real America's Voice. Take it.
All right. So party ID nationally.
Times Philadelphia Inquirer and Siena College poll. Trump leads Harris in Arizona by 6, but Harris leads by 4 in Pennsylvania. Mark, what are the 3 most important states that we need to be watching?
That shows you right there that the poll sucks. There's no way Pennsylvania's left of Arizona right now. That would be that USA Today poll would be an outlier. Because anything else has it potentially being a toss-up or leaning blue in Arizona and Pennsylvania with a slight lead, but not by that much even. What did they say? It was like, play from the beginning. It's a ridiculous number. 7-point spread.
Times Philadelphia Inquirer and Siena College poll. Trump leads Harris in Arizona by 6, but Harris leads by 4 in Pennsylvania. Mark, what are the...
Trump doesn't lead by 6 in Arizona, and Harris doesn't lead by 4 in... Both of those are ridiculous. I think Trump's going to take Arizona, not by 6. And definitely I don't think whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win by 4. Definitely not Harris. Continue.
The 3 most important states that we need to be watching.
Well, I think the easiest pathway to 270 and a victory is Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. If every other state stays the same as it did in 2020, those 3 states go to Trump, it's over. He's also leading in Michigan, leading in Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, all of these things, but he has more pathways than she does, and the door is closing on her very quickly. She has to run the table on those those 3 upper Midwest states, and she's losing in all of them right now.
A small child with a sibling.
Yeah, and Mark, I want to get your take on this narrative that plays out in politics. You know very well that once the narrative is cast on you, it's over in a positive or negative way. With Obama, it was hope and change. It was positive, and he went on and won. With Kamala Harris, I think literally we are seeing, as you said, the narrative kind of play out right now. And I think SNL, when they keep going after her, it's not just that...
Katie said, I'd rather be known as Dine than Navajo, but hey, I don't listen to her. I lose brains. Is that true? You're not supposed to say Navajo? Give me a follow-up, because I would like to be correct on that. Continue.
SNL is going after her. It's just not that. It's that if it's getting into the consciousness of the liberal media and the mindset, then you know it's a problem for her, because then voters understand that this is a way for voters to realize that...
That's significant to me. That the target, Trump was in the skit with Kamala, and the target was Kamala of the joke. That's new ground for Saturday Night Live since like the 90s.
Without a doubt. Yes.
Late 80s.
I know.
You know, and what that guy's saying, it's like in the minds of people. I'm telling you, once America feels someone's a loser, they don't back a loser.
No, you're right.
And that's how it's starting to be like she's a joke. And it's not going to change this week.
You think it's going to get worse?
Scott Adams said it is. Scott Adams said the first thing that had to happen for the collapse is for a couple respectable polls to go away from her. And then it clears the way for the rest of the pollsters to follow suit.
Really?
And it happened over the weekend. Continue.
That she has no substance. I was this weekend on Saturday Night Live when this whole Family Feud thing that they played, it was hilarious because she goes and says, you know, I'm a middle-class kid. And then Kenan Thompson, who's playing Steve Harvey, goes, well, there she goes again. You know, they understand that the narrative is forming against her, and it's not good. This is a real problem for her.
Well, they also see her lead evaporating in the polls. They know that historically, Donald Trump has never underperformed in the polls. He always overperforms. So when you see these polls that show him up, down, 1 or 2 points, tied, that's actually him winning. Because if we go by 2020, the polls were off by about 4% nationally. And so she's got to be up 5, 6, 7 points to consider this thing to be a close race. And she isn't.
Such a great point. Donald Trump has busted so many norms, and that Obama coalition of 2008, 2012, gone, blown to smithereens, if you will. There's no doubt about it. Mark Lauder, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
Good to see you guys.
Next.
Has the Joe Rogan thing, is that happening with Trump? Trump and Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be another big draw.
Yeah, and like what does she have left to do? It's like big shows won't even have her on.
At this
You already
point,
did The View.
it would be suicide, yeah.
All the top podcasts are conservative leaning. You got nowhere to go.
You have nowhere
Then
to
Trump's got that Madison Square Garden rally that'll be packed.
When is that?
It'd have to be like very soon. I mean, everything's going to be in the next 2 weeks.
Golly, that's wild.
As a girl, I just hope that one day I have as many rights as a gun. I too wish that one day women will be banned from polling stations. Next. Donald Trump tells Fox News he's made a deal with Elon Musk to have him cut all the useless parts of the U.S. government, and he will get to Mars. Roll it.
There's a lot of fat in government that you would want to slim down.
They're friends.
So what agencies would you want to shut down?
Well, let me have you ask another person that, because I'm going to have Elon Musk. He is dying to do this. You know, he's a great business guy, actually. You think of him for science and rockets, and every time I think he's telling me about a new screw that was developed, he's developed a new screw. Screws are difficult, and it's made out of titanium, and it's so exciting. But you know what? He's a great business guy, and he's a great cost cutter. You've seen that.
Did I say it right then? Dine? Is that right? Am I saying it right? Dine, or it's pronounced with an accent? If you write it out accent, or just tell me I'm right, so I'll know from now on. I'll use the preferred term, not the government term. Continue.
He said, I could cut costs without affecting anybody.
So he will be in the cabinet?
Not in the cabinet. He doesn't want to be in the cabinet. He just wants to be in charge of cost cutting. We'll have a new position, Secretary of Cost Cutting, okay? Elon wants to do that. And we have incredible people. He's running a big business. You know, he can't just say, oh, I think I'll go into the cabinet. You know,
Thanks,
other people
Katie.
can. He can't. But Elon's a little bit different in that sense. And besides that, I want him to send the rocket up to Mars. He said,
Amber.
He's made me a promise. He'll get to Mars before the end of my administration, which will be long before, hopefully, China or Russia. I created a space.
It makes me laugh when women in the comments agree with me that women shouldn't vote. But it is insane that women fought for the right to vote and then made their number one thing that they're going to do with the vote
But I mean, what's-
the right
what's-
to kill their own babies.
What's the demographic now with Democratic white women? Is that like basically the only people that are voting in this election?
No, I think college-educated white men.
Which makes sense.
If you guys can find a current breakdown on RCP or whatever, the most up-to-date one of who's voting. That's another reason people, like, it's one thing to just say the polls are rigged, but where it looks like it's bad for Kamala is you say it's 48-47 Kamala or 48-46 Kamala. But then when you look at the breakdowns, there's no way to get to those numbers of the groups of people that are going to vote. You know, how is she going to get the same percentage of Biden when he had 85% black support and she has 70 and dropping?
Wow, yeah, you're right.
You can't do it, let alone other demographics.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
SpaceX has 13,000 employees and they're changing the world in front of our eyes. NASA has 42,000 employees that your tax money pays for, and all they've launched lately is a gay flag.
It's true. NASA's
Next.
in trouble. NASA is in serious trouble.
They should cut them.
Without a doubt.
Roll it.
You know, he said, I don't usually do this, but, you know, I'd love to see you tomorrow. Can we meet
Pause.
for breakfast? And we had breakfast.
This is her story of meeting Elon Musk, whoever this lady is. Play it from the beginning.
You know, he said, I don't usually do this, but, you know, I'd love to see you tomorrow. Can we meet for breakfast? And we had breakfast, and then at the end of breakfast, he said, will you come and have lunch with me? So then we went for lunch, and then he said, will you come to dinner? And then I remember one evening he said, would you like to come back to my hotel room so we can look at rocket videos? And I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come back. And how
are you? Oh,
and
God. Here we go.
He did get into his hotel room and he did just show me rocket videos.
It's great, huh?
What a breath of fresh air that video was, let me tell you. That is not the turnout I was expecting.
Well, that's all the rocket videos I have. See you tomorrow. You can show yourself out. Next. Okay, here we go. Full screen. Can you read that like that?
No.
Okay.
No, wait. There you go. Thank you, guys.
No, I mean, I'm not.
But
Harry
yeah, I
Carey.
am. Okay, all right.
Okay, so here we go.
No,
that's general. I want to see the demographic breakdown. Like black
White
male
women,
voters,
white
male voters. Next.
I thought you said black male horse.
No, voters. Watch this and tell me you don't immediately want to yell America. Roll it.
Starting off at the 10th position, we have Iraq with 30 firearm per 100 people. Moving on to the 9th place, we have Iran with 31. Switzerland at number 8 with 32 firearms. Moving upwards at number 7, Uruguay with 32.5 per 100 people.
I've heard Uruguay's great.
33 firearms secures its place in the 6th position.
The Switzerland
Reaching to the top 5, New Zealand at 5 with 34.5 firearms.
Really?
Cyprus
I
at
thought they
4th place
did away with that.
37 firearms. At 3rd place, it's Serbia with 38 firearms.
Per
At
100
number 2,
people?
it's Republic of Yemen with staggering 55 firearms per 100 people. However, at the top of the list, it's the land of free liberty and democracy, the United States with 120 firearms per 100.
1.2 per person. Next.
Fantastic.
Voters asked to share their opinions on Tim reloading my balls walls. Roll it.
We had the opportunity at Fox Digital to talk with some of the voters on the ground. This is what they had to say. Watch.
I think he's a great choice for Kamala because she has no clue. So she actually picked a running mate that was equally stupid.
I heard the last name, but I
Pause.
didn't know who he was. I've never seen him.
I get the feeling that Wisconsin's one of those places like Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Pennsylvania and Central Pennsylvania and West Virginia that people have the same outside clothes as they do inside their house clothes.
No doubt, no doubt.
Hey, we're going out. Want to throw something on? I already have something on.
This lady's actually she's an attorney. I'm just
Oh.
kidding. That's literally what they all look like.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
On TV or anything, so I like him at all. I see right through him. I think he's a fast-talking, like, throws in like a bunch of things that aren't true, but talks real fast.
So the people on the ground definitely are going to speak their
Pause.
mind, Kristen.
It's all negative. They didn't even have like one positive person.
Lord.
I don't see it turn around. And you know, some of you remember me from Check the News 2020. I was the one telling you the thing's not going to flip. Trump's out.
Yeah, you were.
And you were.
And I was the only one that
and
was
you were
like,
all writing
"Meh."
it in all caps. Believe.
I
the
was like, they're
prophet.
gonna release the Kraken.
So I'm telling you now, as somebody that's not biased.
What do you think is coming out about Big Pharma?
What do you mean?
There's like whispers and stuff that something big is happening in like 2 days.
Oh, you have to send me what you've seen. I haven't seen anything on it.
I'll show you.
Listen, folks, I'm going to pray for you. Even if you're an atheist or you just thought you're watching a news program, you're gonna be respectful.
Listen.
Bow your head and close your eyes. We're going to pray. Father, thank you for every person who's watching. I pray you would lift every burden of concern from them and their family. In Jesus' name. I pray you'd bless the people that are watching today. Thank you for peace. Thank you that you are our peace. In Jesus' name. If you've never received Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, say this prayer with me out loud. Say this: Heavenly Father, I admit that I've sinned. I repent. I believe in my heart you raised Jesus from the dead. I confess with my mouth Jesus is Lord and my Savior. Right now, I receive forgiveness. By the blood of Jesus, I am saved. In Jesus' name, amen. If you prayed that prayer, welcome to the family of God. I want you to go and do what it says on the bottom of the screen. Go to revivaltoday.com and click I just got saved. Fill that out completely. I'm going to send you a Bible and some other materials to help you live the Christian life. Revivaltoday.com, click I just got saved. If you want to help us feed 5,000 kids in the morning by giving money, some type of monetary value, I'm going to send you 3 Slammin' t-shirts that's going to make you friends and get you dirty looks from others at the same time. Let's see them. I'm just like you, Tim Walz fishing with the wrong end of the fishing pole, full screen.
That's a great t-shirt.
Second one. They don't ban hate speech, they ban speech they hate. Elon Musk. And third, you got to make it more visible. We'll get it.
Yeah, because you can't.
It's Tim
that
Walz
just
with
looks-
the tampon.
That looks not like
shady.
a tampon.
Well, get it right, folks. Sending you all 3. Here's the ways that you can give. Revivaltoday.com. You click Give Now. That all the ways to give are right there. Revivaltoday.com. You click Give Now. And then if you'd like to mail a large check, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. After you're giving, don't forget to go to revivaltoday.com, claim my offer to make sure we have your name and address to mail you the shirts. Marie Canalupo, you're a great lady. Tanya, Timothy, I'm back on 7 o'clock live preaching. Please share this broadcast before you log off. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
For myself and everybody here at Revival Today, we love you. See you in a few hours.
What's it like?
Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. MAGA, let the love flow, Democrats corrupt, yo, we know it's do or die. We taking it all back, so feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve gas like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I return. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around. Jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield,